Please welcome Vivienne Westwood in conversation with Iwona Blazwick, Director of the Whitechapel.
So we're here to celebrate the 25th birthday party of a great magazine dedicated to women. You can tell from its name, and to the art of fashion. So it's entirely appropriate that inaugurating the party tonight is one of the great, dare I say it, aristocrats of the fashion world. Born in Derbyshire and briefly a student of silversmithing and jewellery at the Harrow School of Art, she came to fashion in her 30s and to public attention with her notorious shop, co-conceived with friend Malcolm McLaren on the themes of rock and sex in the 1970s. Over the next 30 years, her successive collections, ranging from Pirates in 1981 to the gold and red label ranges of today, she's established her international reputation as a couturier and style icon, twice named British Designer of the Year, and in 2006, made respectable with an honour of becoming a dame. Vivienne Westwood, your approach to fashion has been non-conformist, taboo-breaking, and hugely influential on the clothes of today. You're a radical force for innovation, but you draw your inspiration from the past. What is it about art historical figures such as, Gainsborough or Boucher that inspires you?
Well, the first thing to say is, where else would you get it from, your inspiration? I mean, we are what we are. We don't know the future. The present is gone as I speak. Where else do you get it from? The 20th century was a mistake. The age of the iconoclast tried to smash tradition. And regarding Gainsborough, he's our greatest British artist. There's nobody to touch him. Hogarth was the other one, but he sort of tended to go towards the idea of working towards popular engravings and stuff like that. But
just pulling it back to art history, when you look at a Gainsborough, say, are you looking, is it the attitude, is it the aesthetic, or are you actually looking at the actual treatment of, say, clothing and the figure, or textiles? What is it that...
Looking at more than anything, of course, they're so fashionable and everything. That thing in the National Gallery, that morning walk, that woman in that white dress, and the amount of trouble for that look in fashion is incredible. The hairstyles and what people had to do. They weren't wigs, they were bits of hair added with all kinds of things. What they went through to look like that is one thing, but what I think I'm looking at more than anything is that people are born with a talent, and how they push themselves to achieve, in the end, perfection. How they are not satisfied until they are true to themselves in what they're able to do. And I just think it's that people do that, what you have to go through to be able to do that, no matter how talented you are. I have my own experience trying to write things, how long it can take to get to what you're trying to say or whatever. And to do that, it's just, what we suffer from today is discipline, it's not freedom. I mean, if you don't mind, I'd just like to quote André Gide, and I will translate it because my French accent isn't so good, and maybe better trying to do it in English. But André Gide, who we think of as somebody rather modern-minded for the age in which he lived, he said, art is born of discipline, lives through controversy, and is killed by freedom. And anyway, it's a good, I agree with him completely, and I don't know where we are now, but yeah, okay.
I wanted to just get you know, as a curator, I'm really interested in how artists make a work. What's the process? What's the genesis of the progress from an idea or a moment of inspiration? How does that then become a garment? What's the process?
Well, now then, I'm not sure how to answer this, but I have to just explain that the problem with fashion is that it's continuous. You never, never stop. You can never take a break. You're always doing something. And so you have to have a title for a show. You have to have a concept. Those titles often come like, we were waiting for the invitation, what's the name of the collection? They come really at the end a lot. You have to kind of like impose them on the collection to sort of get an idea. So you just have to start at a certain point in my case. What I usually do, sometimes I have an idea, because I'm always, I couldn't be a fashion designer if I would be only a fashion designer. I don't know how to answer this. If people come to me and say they want to do fashion and I always say, what else are you interested in? And because you have to get an idea of the world. I don't know what it is, but I think I've just stopped on that sort of line of thought for the minute, sorry. I don't really know how to answer this because it's always, always different. But one thing I do is that I just start. And maybe I just do something physical, put something on a dummy. Usually I don't work with draping things on a dummy. I have an idea that I think will work, a geometrical idea that I think will work. And I'll try it out. It's just these things, the more you work, the more ideas are sort of hovering in your head. And so I might do that, but I do rely on the first thing I have to do, which is to select some fabric, otherwise I don't get it in time. And the fabric might help me to create a story. And very often it's the first thing I do that reminds you of something, it has a feeling. I mean, last season, I had this amazing pattern cutter who works with me. I should have brought her, she would have been interested. Anyway, she's just arrived and she was working as I left work. But we asked her to do something, and she really is a genius. She's a creator. And you talk to her and you say, this is what we're after. We've got this kind of idea. Or I might do a little model even on a tiny little, 50% size thing. Or whatever, but when she does something, it may or may not be what you had in mind. She will take it and she'll do something with it.
May I take any questions from the floor?
Well, just very quickly, reading. I just love reading. I was born, you don't need to know this, in a little row of cottages with very thick walls, and I was just always reading, and it was in the heart of the country. My mother gave me 5 shillings to drop out of the library when I was 8, because she thought I should get more fresh air. But, she was very house proud. We didn't have a Hoover, but she was always, and I would be sitting on this sofa, because she would tell me I had to get out of bed, and I'd be sitting on this sofa. She was a kind of pyromaniac. We had a little fire, which was always smoke, because it was full of potato peelings and everything. Nothing went in our dustbin except ash and burnt tin cans from anything. And she was always making me put up my feet. But she was a reader herself, by the way, but she always said, she's in her glory, reading, oh, she's in her glory. And I was.
Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here tonight. Thank you to Lorraine Candy and her wonderful team. Happy birthday, Elle, and thank you, Vivienne Westwood.